thank you everyone for joining us, our dealers and our viewers, of course. Good evening to everyone. Today we're gathered here to, we've been hearing a lot of noise, of course, about things that have been happening in the past 2 weeks, impacts that it has had or potentially is having on the economy, on different uncertainty around different markets. But we're gathered here not to talk about the geopolitical situation itself. Definitely not. I think UAE is doing a great job, and we all can agree on that. But we're here to talk about the impact that it has, or maybe it has not had, on specific markets. In today's discussion, specifically used car market, of course. To give a quick round of introduction, I'm Kamran. From Deal Drive, head of revenue at Deal Drive, and what we do is, of course, provide data to dealers. And I do have some data to share today, some insights with numbers on how the market has reacted in the past 2 to 3 weeks compared to last month. But I think what's even more interesting is to combine that with, of course, real experiences and knowledge of what's happening on the ground. Joining us, we have Naz from Parklane, founder of Parklane, one of the top dealers in UAE for sure, quite active in purchasing and selling of a broad range of cars. Naz himself, an automotive professional and entrepreneur for quite a long time in the industry. We also have Mohamed from Black Stallion, dealership in Sharjah with over 100 or 150 cars actually in stock, targeting quite a different segment, I would say. Chinese cars, imported cars, but again, broad range of cars from budget to sort of mid-segment cars. And last but definitely not the least, we have Tushar from Quick Cars. Again, different scale of business, different part of the market, but definitely, again, one of the most active dealers that we have worked with and that we know of, even getting one of the awards last year, Outstanding Growth Award, actually.
Mid-segment.
Because of the activity. In mid-segment, correct. Well, that's it for the introduction. Thank you again very much for joining us. And with that, I would like to get right into it, starting with sort of a high-level question, maybe starting with you, Naz, actually. Again, over the past 2 weeks, we've seen quite a lot of things. We're hearing quite a lot of things. But one question I wanted to direct at you, and of course others as well, is have you noticed any immediate changes in the market, and specifically maybe for your business?
Yeah, I think, look, to say no would be a lie. I think what's happening now is there's an element of uncertainty, and quite rightly so. So people are just taking the more cautious hold and wait attitude, and rightly so. I would personally do the same thing. But nonetheless, people still need to buy cars. People still need to get mobile. This has actually introduced a new audience to me that I didn't have before. I've had customers coming in saying, I just want to have car keys. I just want to have a car just in case I need to go. So it's actually introduced a new market as well. Business has slightly slowed down, but I see positives in it because the lead quality is way higher. So the people that do come and that do venture out and that do turn up are actually serious people coming to buy cars. So there's positives in everything, really.
Well, that's a nice way to put it. I would like to ask if Tushar has any comments on that. And the reason I'm putting that question on to you is because, again, very different scale of business that you do versus Parklane, as an example.
Correct.
So I would like to hear your thoughts on that.
My views are the same. The buyers who are coming are literally coming to buy on the spot. And the prices change. They negotiate a bit more, saying there's uncertainty going on or something. But we're not doing the same sales, but whatever we're doing in a short time and faster.
On the pricing bit, it's a good point, because one of the data that we looked at from our market insights in our live market was when we looked at the past few weeks, or the first few weeks of March, comparing with the last week of February, we did see on average around not a big decrease, but still on average across the market a 3.2% decrease in the average price of used cars
See,
specifically?
uncertainty, it does not crash the market.
Mhm.
It just makes them smarter. They'll just buy something that they need to get from point A to point B. Like he said, get me a car
Mhm.
and probably I'll have to go somewhere.
I mean, that data you gave is very interesting because 3% is actually nothing in the grand scheme of things. So, if you have if it's a showroom, you have a 10 million portfolio of cars, you've lost 300,000. In the grand scheme of things, 3% is nothing. I mean, we see these market volatilities in December, in July, in August, they drop 5-6%. So
In summer
And
for all
summer,
of us.
sometimes it goes even more than
it goes even more than that.
Yeah.
So to tell me 3% is very reassuring that dealers are still holding on to their pricing, right? That's a very interesting indicator that dealers are not. Some are panic selling, and that's probably the worst thing you can do. I
Exactly.
think, depending on who's been here and how long they've been here, honestly, we hope that everything will be over and we're not into geopolitics, but every once in a while you're blessed with an opportunity. So who was here in 2008? Who was here in COVID 2020? If you navigate the waters well, through dynamic pricing, fast selling, velocity, it's actually a positive. It's a blessing in disguise. And not only now,
it's a buyer's market.
it's a buyer's market. And not only now, but even when everything settles. So the way I see it is I'm still gearing up and I'm still aggressively buying stock. And the reason why I'm doing that is I know that because of the procurement and the logistical issues globally, there's going to be a supply shock. There's not going to be any new cars in the market.
Exactly.
In the
And
next
it's
3
happening,
months.
by the way. Like, it's happening right now.
No cars.
No cars on the market. And especially, I'm sorry for stopping you on this.
No,
but
it's fine.
if you
Exactly.
just,
No,
if you
it's
just,
quite
since
interesting from your
I'm
side.
just like, and again, a different segment or something. Seriously, we have an issue in supply, and it's going to be like even more for the next coming few days or even weeks.
And that will push the prices
Exactly.
up, right?
The prices will go up, and people will start to think twice now. Everyone wants to buy. We are not saying like it's decreasing now or there is a problem right now. No, the people starting, or let's say the customers, the audience start to play it smartly. I'm in need of this right now or no. End of the day, like what Nas said in the beginning, like people, they want to drive cars. They will not stop driving cars. But what they will drive, this is the problem. Or this is for them, this is going to be the difference. What should I just take? Should I buy it for this much now? Shall I hold it for some time? But it's moving. And whatever is coming, by the way, is going to be a big opportunity. We are not saying like the market is not going or doing well right now. As you said, the percentage is very low. Like 3% is nothing comparing to summertime. So sometimes like if you just go in COVID time or even in 2008, nothing happened.
It in fact gets interesting. People sitting
Again,
with
yeah.
money, leave the normal buyers, but people sitting with money, they're like, oh, this is a deal for me.
Yeah.
Because probably he never got a Rolls Royce or a 911 in that price. Now someone will reduce their price.
I'm getting calls from customers saying, have you got any good deals on Ferraris?
Yeah, exactly.
I've had one in stock for 2 months, and I'm like, yeah, I've got an amazing 488. Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Like I activated a new buyer that he didn't want a Ferrari, but the perception and the illusion of getting a good deal is actually attracting these
Correct.
Because of the time.
people into the
Yeah,
market.
because
People
of
who
the
sit with money, they just want deals.
Even though it's not actually, when you look at it, not that drastically of a good deal
It's the
compared to
perception of a good
Probably he
perception,
was
correct.
never looking at buying a car. But now
now
there's that
Suddenly
is,
now, yeah, he
oh my God,
decided,
I'll
yeah.
get a deal.
any good deals.
Not even cars, property also.
Property
But
as well, yeah.
the luxury segment, this is what is happening.
Basically for the customers, what I believe in, like in our business, especially in the cars, you are selling emotions more than you are selling like a product.
Absolutely.
So people, they are getting attracted to things whenever something happens. Like now, for example, people, they're just, okay, let me sell my car. For us as a dealers, by the way, I'll buy it today, I'll buy it tomorrow, I'll buy it like whatever I bought the last month, the price will never change. I have a demand, I have a supply, we have a customer. So we have to stick to the market. So the people themselves, or the customers, they are just moving everything out. Okay, now emotionally they want to sell. Good for us. We are buying, we have a stock on. Tomorrow they want to buy whenever whatever happens is going to happen and finish over. So we have a stock, we have cars, people they want, the demand will come back again.
Correct.
Just one point on this. Sorry, I think you opened up a can of worms with that
Uh,
question.
it was
We were raring to go. you
high-level
know.
questions.
We were raring to go.
Oh, that's good.
So regarding the used car market, if you take away the uncertainty, as long as we stick to our margin policy, business works. So let's say, for argument's sake, we buy a car for 100,000, and our margin policy is whatever, 15%. So we want to make 15,000 on that car. Because of the uncertainty, we'll just buy it 10% cheaper and we'll sell it 10% cheaper.
To keep ourselves safe.
Exactly.
Correct.
And
Because
if
of
the
the
market goes
market,
up, we'll
that's
buy it
safe.
10% more and we'll sell it 10% more. It doesn't make a difference.
That's a very good point on basically sourcing good cars, and I want to direct that question at you, Mohamed, because you mentioned that you do work with a lot of imported cars, Chinese spec cars, and you did actually mention logistic issues.
Yes.
Have you seen any actual issues that has impacted your business, the business already, and has that changed anything with how you're sourcing cars?
Okay, so I'll tell you something. So basically, if we just take the current situation, I'm doing very good. Okay? Or not only me, basically the people who's owning those cars, and we have it on the stock for the last couple of months, let's say, the people, they are just looking after those cars. It becomes trendy because if you're not just taking the whole market as an example, Chinese cars, it's kind of like a trendy cars, or let's say the people, they start to figure out that those cars are having a good value comparing to the product, whatever the price of the car and everything on it. So supplies is a problem right now, but there is a big stock in the market. Once this stock will start to move out, or let's say people start selling aggressively, you will feel the shortage on the stock. But
This is exactly... Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's fine.
This is exactly what happened in COVID. So we had it's a different issue, but similar macro dynamics where there was, in 2020, there was a semiconductor shortage. So new cars are not coming into the market. Used cars went up
Very
literally
high, yeah.
20-30% in that year because
I
you
remember.
just couldn't buy a new car. And there was points where, with specific cars, which is still the case today, a used car will be more expensive than a new car.
Exactly.
And we've seen it with
And
some of
this
the
is,
T2s
what's
and
happening.
things like that.
Exactly.
And this is
And
going to
this is
happen
what's
even
happening
more.
now. Yeah, it's happening right now, even on the Chinese cars. By the way, if you'll just see in the last few months, I will not say like even the last year, just only 2-3 months back, the price of the Chinese cars, it's like a wave. It's increasing day by day.
Yeah, it increases every month.
Yeah, because the demand is high also on the cars. People, they start asking a lot about those cars, and also because of the prices. And end of the day, the supplies will never stop. But it might be like a short of time for now, for some few weeks only, but the stock is coming. End of the day, whatever who's having the stock over here, it's selling, and it's moving very well, by the way, comparing to the used cars. And again, the same story of the used cars. It will move, but it will take some time.
Same, they'll call, they'll be like, hey, is there any deal? And he'll be like, yeah, 5K off.
Exactly,
Well,
yeah.
I hear a lot of good things, which of course, a lot of positive things, which is absolutely good. So I would like to throw in one more piece of data, maybe to open another can of worms. We looked at the data comparing first 10 days of February versus the first 10 days of March. Basically right after the whole escalation. And March historically is known to be a better month than February. However, what we saw in terms of delistings across classifieds, major classifieds, which is often means sales, there was a 20% decrease in delistings. And I don't want to make any conclusions on that, but I would love to hear your thoughts on that.
That's exactly what my initial first point was, which is there is uncertainty in the market. People are a little bit more cautious. I think as with COVID, when it started on the 13th of March or whatever, the first 7-10 days, everybody's like, let's just wait and see. But as and when you see how the government handles the situation, as you understand what's happening with schooling, as you understand what's happening with the airport and global logistics, then things start to get back to business, surprisingly enough. But that first 10-day shock is always the worst shock.
So end customers are waiting, not making any decisions.
Yeah, you don't know what you have to do next.
You don't know. We've been living here 17, 18 years. Nothing like this has ever happened.
Correct.
And nobody expected it to happen.
Absolutely.
Of course, yeah.
What happens is everybody just goes on hold for a bit. So that's, for me, the first point that would explain that. Although I think that should start creeping back to normal soon. The second point is, because they moved the holidays earlier for school.
Yes, correct.
And because a lot of people traveled, I see this as July and August, which is the right time to buy, the right time to stock up, because these people will come back. This escalation will de-escalate. And then whoever's was brave enough to buy the right stock at today's price is going to be laughing in a few weeks
Summer
when no
came
one has
early
new
for
stock.
us.
Exactly. To be honest, I feel like the summer will be like a very good month for us. Like if
Yeah,
you
big
remember,
time.
because now it started very early. People, as Naz, exactly what he said. People they started leaving, panicking, just only want to sell my car.
Yeah,
or
when they're back,
some
we'll
of
have
them they
better
are
months.
holding.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we will have a better month. Like whenever things like going down, I believe like everything will be even better than the last year. Or
Dubai
something.
always comes back stronger. Like,
Exactly.
this is one thing
And
that
this
gives
time
us
I
the
think it's going to be
confidence as
very
well.
strong comparing to any other, like
Yeah.
whatever happened earlier. This time is going to be even much more stronger.
So the data basically showing that sales have gone down in based on the data, you would agree that that is right based on the first 10-day shock that you mentioned.
Yeah, it's the
and
first.
people stocking up as well.
Yeah, and there's another reason as well. A lot of people traveled, so we think
Yes,
of it as a
correct.
July-August scenario. What we've also implemented in the showroom is because people were cautious about traveling.
Correct.
Some people, not everyone, were cautious about coming out and traveling. So we implemented different initiatives. So, for example, we have a 3-day deposit policy. So
Mhm.
if you put a deposit on a car, you can only hold the car for 3 days, and then you lose the opportunity to purchase a car.
Correct.
So what we've done is we worked with our customers, and we've increased that to 10 days, because we know things take a little bit longer, right? We've also worked with the banks and the F&I departments and things like that, and for auto loan and banking, they slow down in Ramadan as well. So we understood that the purchasing process is a bit slower because customers need a little bit more time to think and decide. The banks are a little bit slower because it's Ramadan. So what we did is we accommodated for this, and we told the customers, look, it's no obligation. We'll give you 10 days, we'll give you 14 days deposit, which gives them time to feel comfortable, get confident, and continue the transaction. So transaction times are getting longer. This is
Mhm.
one thing that I've noticed. And we're intentionally allowing that to happen because we're not here to push the customer into the car.
But that
we want them
also
to be
takes
confident.
place in Ramadan. It's normal.
It slows
Usually-
down in
yeah,
Ramadan
It's
anyway.
nothing
Yeah.
new for us, you know. But it's
See, the only thing is everything happening during like Ramadan comes and whatever happens like locally now comes again at the same time.
Ramadan, it slows down in
And
banking,
yeah,
Yeah.
people
right?
start to travel, which is unusually happening. Like in Ramadan, people they're not traveling this much, so everything comes together. That's why like you feel like it's slowing down, but basically it's still moving a little bit slow.
So we were prepared for the slowdown. We got a little more slow.
With that, correct. That's absolutely right. I wanted to talk about, you mentioned a change in strategy of the deposits. You mentioned that as an example. On more operational level in terms of, what car dealers and dealerships do on a daily basis. You source cars, you price cars, and then you sell cars. In terms of the sourcing, and I did mention sourcing, maybe we can talk about pricing a bit. And we did talk about the price decrease, but I would again like to hear from you personally. Is there a change in your pricing strategy specifically?
As he mentioned before, there's no pricing drop or anything. It's
Mhm.
just that we be safe. 10%.
Yeah.
We purchase it lower.
Just adding
because of-
buffers.
yeah,
buffers,
Exactly.
And it probably will sell it at 10% lesser than the value later,
Yeah.
whenever we have a buyer. There's no pricing change as of right now.
So it's just a market adjustment. I think that's
Correct.
the best way
That's
to put
the
it. And
perfect word.
there's two ways to look at it. If you're a low volume dealership, then you could be a little bit more picky in your purchasing
Mm-hmm.
and only look for distressed sellers, and you will find 1 in 10 you'll get a fantastic deal. But when you're looking at volume of 150, 200 cars a month, not everyone is a distressed seller. I'm sorry, there isn't that many distressed sellers out there. Everyone talks about distressed sellers, distressed bargains. 1 in 50, 1 in 30, you might get lucky, but that's not the norm.
Yeah, not
Mhm.
all the deals.
It's not
They
the
don't
norm.
close.
The norm is, yeah, you know what, I wanted 100. Because of what's going on, I'll take 95. You know what,
Yeah.
we'll have that. And
It's
instead of
normal.
listing it for 115, I'll list it for 110.
10.
Exactly.
Same thing.
That makes sense. It's quite interesting on the part that you mentioned earlier around stocking up of cars and taking this, sort of turning it into an opportunity of
Yeah.
getting good deals, talking and again relating that to the numbers because I'm the number guy. We're the number people.
Data guy.
Yeah, the data people, and we actually did see an increase in terms of number of listings on the market. So while delistings had decreased, we had also seen a number
New
in
listings.
basically stock being held by the dealers and
Of
not
course.
just panic selling, I
Mm.
guess. That
Yeah, I mean, that obviously makes sense because the market is more cautious.
Mhm.
Transaction times are taking a bit longer. And probably a few more people are selling than normal. Look, what's happening is quite significant. We can't ignore the fact that something significant is happening
Absolutely.
Of course.
just across the Arabian Sea, right? Having said that, the impact, thank God, is nowhere near as bad as I thought it would be. Like, in all honesty, it could have been a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
We were bracing for the worst. We were preparing for the worst. But now that people understand how things are going, now that the initial 10-day shock is over, honestly, it's business as usual.
Very good point on bracing yourself for the worst.
See,
Sorry.
Be-
Not going to say that this is going to get
It's not
worse.
business owners or anyone
Yes.
that will panic.
Mm-hmm.
It's people probably who want to leave, who are panicking right now. You'll see them panic selling. Business owners or who've been here more than 5-10 years.
Yeah.
Call
We have the
UAE
scars, you know.
It's
We've survived
happens,
through a lot.
Yeah,
many
COVID.
times.
So
Exactly.
you know we're there and we're safe.
Yeah.
So your advice in terms of what would you do to minimize losses, from what I hear, is there isn't a lot to actually prepare for in terms of minimizing
No,
losses?
there's a lot that could be done in terms of, I wouldn't say minimizing losses, I'd say mitigating risk.
Correct.
So how do you de-risk your business? And for me, it's what Tushar mentioned at the start, which is probably the single most important thing for a successful car dealer, which is speed and velocity.
Speed
So-
and velocity.
Because of the volatility in pricing and because of the small fluctuations in pricing, you don't want to hold stock with yesterday's pricing.
Correct.
Of
So
course.
it's all about now. I am more than happy.
Moving ahead.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to sacrifice margin for volume. As long as I maintain the units, I maintain clean cash flow, clean stock profile, and now it's even more important with your data tools and your pricing tools to do dynamic pricing on a daily basis to make sure that before, for me, if a car is more than 30 days, I class it as overage. Now, if it's more than 14 days, it's overage. Because I don't want to be caught with yesterday's pricing, because I'm still bracing for the worst, even though it may not come. But if I see a car in stock for more than 10, 15 days, I will give the consumer, not a discount, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
but value add.
Added value. Yeah. Correct.
Insurance, warranty,
Service
ceramic,
pack.
Service,
There's
yes,
so
yes.
many different value add that we can use to entice them. Okay, you're buying a car now, you're uncertain, but let me do this for you, let me do that for you, let me do a suite of different products for you to make it more enticing. So it's not just about panic sell, lower the price. It's how can you also give back to the customer? And a customer always wants more value.
Dynamic pricing. That was a very good point you mentioned. So you do repricing more often, or you check against the market more often. Daily.
On
Wow.
every single car.
Wow.
We have a whole data
Yeah.
analyst and BI team doing
This is
that.
the problem when you have a fleet, when you have a big car. Like
Before
you have a big
used
stock.
cars,
You
dealers-
have to. You have to.
Exactly.
You know,
You
they
have
said
to up to
60
date.
days was a good time to flip.
Correct.
It became 45. It came to 30. Now, as you said, it's 14 days.
14
You have
days.
to keep a check on it.
You have to keep a check on it.
Well, I have one news actually from our side for all three of you that are actually using
Dropping one by
Drive.
one.
He's giving us one bad news and then one good news. We need
Yeah,
good one
this
next.
part is
Yeah.
the good news.
Okay,
This part
good.
is good.
Okay.
Let's see now.
This part's the good news. It's something that we were discussing earlier today. With the whole, we realize how important dynamic pricing is and how important turnover is versus margin. And one of the things that we're doing, and it will very, very soon be released, I believe, from our product team, is to help you with that dynamic pricing. Typically, what our pricing tool does for you is it takes into account live data, but also historical data, up to 6 months by default.
Okay.
That's good.
What we are aiming to do is shorten that to just the past month or starting March,
Makes more
which
sense.
which
Gives us
basically
more
takes,
accurate price.
takes into account the current situations that have been happening and give you a more accurate pricing on the spot. So that's something for you and of course everyone else using which will definitely help you. With
I'll tell you one more thing which is slightly unrelated, but I just need to mention this point
Sure,
because
of
it's
course.
incredible. And we're not going to get into geopolitics or anything like that, but there was a message, and just to show you what Mohamed was talking about in terms of the market will come back stronger, because there's a lot of people wait for Ramadan to buy a car.
Exactly.
You have to understand, Ramadan
time
is
to
the
buy a
season
car.
to buy a car.
Yeah.
we were gearing up. I was speaking to a lot of the OEMs and main dealers. What's your Ramadan offer? What's your Ramadan offer? We've been building this up for the past 6-8 weeks, and everyone's waiting to buy a car. So anyone that's paused now is just waiting for this to be over. And I'll give you one perfect example, which really, really reassured me more than anything else. Not getting into geopolitics, someone from the other side of the sea came and said, you know, sorry to our Gulf brothers, we're not going to do this anymore. Do you remember it lasted 6 hours?
Yes.
The phone blew up. We took 7 deposits.
Yeah, yes.
I don't know if that happened
To be honest,
you.
it happens last week also.
It happened last week, and all of a sudden everyone was like, oh, alhamdulillah, it's over. I'm coming. And then, wait a minute, I've just got another alert. Okay, and then but what my point is, people are waiting to see.
Correct.
And inshallah, as soon as we get another piece of news like that as well,
they are willing to buy.
Did it happen to you as well? In
Yeah,
those few
yeah.
hours, it just
Let's
exploded.
wait
And
for
one
the
day.
war to end. Let's wait for the war to end. Oh, I just received a message. Can we finalize it tomorrow?
Thank you. Exactly. That's what's happening.
That is
So,
very
yeah, I
true.
mean,
People, yeah.
It
There's
will
some-
pass by.
As I
as you
told you in
mentioned,
the beginning,
Much more stronger.
as you
Everyone will
mentioned,
be.
It's all
yeah.
about emotions. But
Yeah.
like people, end of the day, they are willing. They want to buy. But the thing is, they are panicking or just waiting to see what will happen next. As Naz say now. Just only for 1 hour or 2 hours, this news came up. People, seriously, we
It was 6
received a lot of
deposits we
customers.
took.
Yeah, we got the deposits. We sold 2 cars in cash. I remember. 2 cars in cash. So it means the people, they just want the cars. But the only thing is, they are just watching from outside.
And one more point, we'll let you get back to your questions because I think these are really relevant to today's market.
My questions are all related to what you three are saying.
So in terms of decrease in volume and less customers but better quality customers and things like that, I've got a very, very simple way to define this. What I've realized is we all have friends in Dubai and we all speak to our friends in the evenings and the
Of course.
weekends.
Correct.
And what we've seen is there's 5-10% that panic, want to run and leave. There's 5-10% that like just really worried and stay at home.
Mhm.
There's another 5% that are planning to leave in the next 3 months. But then there's 30-40% that are like absolutely fine,
The
not
life
too
is
bothered.
normal, yeah.
And another 30% which are acting like nothing's happened.
Honestly,
Right?
yes. Yeah.
So from the 100% of typical customers we get, the 25%, which is the panic sellers, the guys that over worry, the guys that were probably going to leave anyway, they disappeared. So guess what? We've still got 75%. The quality is still there, which is what you said.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
And these guys were never serious in the first place. So I'm happy they left.
And also,
Right?
That's right.
if you change them and not look at them as customers, probably they were the freelancers
Yeah.
working in the market.
There is, yeah.
The
Spoiling
opportunists.
our
The
market.
opportunists.
So
This will
now
really
it's,
clean
you
up the
know,
market.
it's a cleanup for us at least, all of us.
That's 100%.
I'm just joining our live audience actually to see if they have any questions, which we will,
Great.
which
Right.
I
We'll
will
just
share
see a
with
lot
you
of-
some questions from the
Okay.
A lot of
Tushar.
questions.
from the audience as well. Before I jump into the questions from the audience, we talked quite a bit about sort of the delistings or decrease in sales that we're seeing currently. One of the things that our data showed is while yes, completely agreed with everything that you're saying. Overall, in the market there was a decrease in delistings or sales. There was an increase in delistings when it came to the ultra luxury segment. So 1 million plus, worth 1 million plus
In the first
cars
10 days?
in the first 10 days, March versus
Interesting.
February, and that of course stood out, and that was quite interesting. And what I would like to hear, do you think that was actual sales or just delistings from the market by dealers?
It's difficult to say. I think it's a combination of both. I think remember we talked about the bucket of people, right? So the 60% of the people who just act as business as usual.
I'd like to take it as sales.
I'd like to take sales because those 60-70% of the people that are just acting like business as usual.
Because I know of people who bought, like they were not purchasing for probably 6-7 months, thinking they'll get Ramadan discount or something.
Yeah.
And they went ahead, bought the car because they're the people from the 30% that
Yeah.
act like nothing happened.
Yeah, and also to answer this question, I think that a savvy dealer who deals in high-end and luxury cars, who knows what they're doing, needs to think about velocity and speed rather than margin.
Correct.
So typically, if a car is 1.2 million dirhams and you come to me, the price is fixed, take it or leave it.
Mm-hmm.
But on the 3rd of March, you know what? If you give me 1.15, I'm not going to say no.
Yeah.
So there was a little bit more flexibility there,
Mm-hmm.
which also encouraged the buyers because they optically see as they're getting good deals. And also from the dealer's perspective, I'm getting liquid so I can rebuy it tomorrow's pricing. So it turned out to be a win-win for everyone.
Everyone, yeah.
That makes sense.
That's the worst way to describe it.
Well,
So it was sales.
it was say that's what we all like to hear, right?
Okay.
Perfect. Let's get into some of the questions from the audience actually. One from Mike. Well, not a question. Thank you so much for the invite. Looking forward to futuristic insights through the sessions, and looking forward to hear from you. Well, actually, one thing I'd like to just share in terms of the insights that we're sharing today, we would be sharing more from our side, and of course through the dealers that we work with. I think on the screen there should be a barcode popping up for all our audience, which is a link to our LinkedIn, actually, a QR code to our LinkedIn, where we will be posting weekly, bi-weekly insights on the market, what's happening from our side and from our dealer side. So that was a comment. Thank you very much. Let's...
If it's the dealer commenting, tell them keep buying.
Yeah, seriously, to be honest.
Well, someone commented a great opportunity to get a Rolls Royce at the moment. So
Call
Yeah,
any
just
of
reach
us.
out to Park Lane. We've got a few in stock.
Call any of
We'll
us.
look after you.
let's see. How about cutbacks? In what ways? This is an interesting question. How about cutbacks? In what ways are dealers cutting costs, such as reducing marketing budget or staff reduction? Yeah,
None of the above
No,
for me.
exactly. You cannot do such thing.
none of the above.
None,
course,
and we're
of
under
course.
contracts. So
Yeah, I mean, look, to answer the question in a bit more detail, in terms of staffing, I think it's too early to tell and make those kind of decisions.
Correct.
You know,
Exactly.
our staff have been very loyal to us for years and years, and as the captain of the ship, we make sure that we look after our guys, and nothing's even happened to
Yeah,
warrant
yeah.
that. In terms of other costs, I think now is even more important to get your word out there in an ever competitive market. Whether the economy is good or bad, whether there's instability or not, whether there's an escalation or not, being on top of marketing, being on top of your customers, getting in those fresh quality leads is the lifeblood of the business. And to cut that now out of fear is just digging your own grave.
I
Yeah,
believe we
correct.
need to just spend even more on this for now.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's the
more
way opposite,
offers,
honestly.
more value added to the
big time.
customers.
A follow-up question, maybe from my side, playing the other side, is what about dealers that maybe for any reason they were sort of struggling with cash flow, and this situation has come, and yes, maybe it hasn't impacted their business a lot, but there has been a minor impact where they're struggling now even more with cash flow. What advice would you give to them from your personal experiences?
End of the day, people, especially who's struggling right now in cash, the first thing will come to their minds, liquidity. Like, I want to just liquid whatever I
100%.
have, and I have it in my bucket, so better than having in stock, which is wrong. End of the day, even if you are just considering you have a cash, you need to buy. You have to stock in your cars. There is some certain ways you can just have some good deals. You can just sell some good cars with low
Change the
margins.
strategy.
There is every dealer, he's having his own strategy. You cannot just give an advice like maybe my way is different than Nas way, different than Tushar. But end of the day, you need to just hold yourself. You need to just keep moving. You need to have your stock ready even for, let's say, the next coming months or something. But it doesn't mean that you have to let your people go, or you just need to close your contracts or do
Probably
something.
sell half of your stock, do new
Exactly.
purchasing, get the market going.
Mm.
Maybe downsize if you're selling 200K plus cars, come to 70, 80,000 cars, faster moving cars. There's a lot to do.
I think it's important that, all of these topics are valid, whether there's an escalation or not. But the lifeblood of this business is three things. Number one is having liquidity and good liquidity partners, and making the most of the liquidity, leads and bringing in fresh customers, and also sourcing.
New stock.
And sourcing. These are the three things that are lifeblood of the business. Whether it's World War III or 4 or 5, it's the same
We
thing.
keep
the
buying.
business model is the same, exactly.
Well, this is a question completely on the opposite, not about reducing costs, but from Mohamed Ash, is this the moment for dealers to go back to basics, streamlining processes, investing in new tech, staff training, and refining customer touchpoint?
Of course.
It's quite a lot of points, but
if he has the time.
So yeah, I mean,
See,
this, in my opinion, should always be an ongoing process. It should never stop. So continuous training, continuous development in terms of tech and innovation and APIs and CRMs and ERPs and stock profiling and data management.
That keeps going on and on and
This
on.
is
not
an
only because of
ongoing
the
thing.
situation only. Yeah, it
It's
needs
an
to be
ongoing
there.
thing.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't stop. I mean, to answer this question specifically, we generally look for the more quiet times where it's probably wise to start doing these things. So quiet times up
Summer.
December, summer. And hey, if we have a bit of extra time now during the day, we'll bring in a bit of training program together. Why not?
got it. Thank you very much. What about luxury cars? We did talk about it, but again, there was a question. How about luxury cars in the current situation? Some dealers are struggling with selling luxury cars at the moment.
I would say it's the price point always. It's not
What about the
struggling
car
right
or
now.
the car itself?
If the price is correct, the market is always on.
So again, back to pricing.
Pricing, yes.
Pricing,
See,
right.
pricing all the time. Any movement in the market always will you have to adjust the pricing again. So either it's luxury.
You cannot have a car 6 months standing with you and the price tag is still of last November. You have to keep changing, like Nas said.
It's dynamic pricing. And look, I'll tell you another point. And this happened in COVID. It happened in 2008. There's always a lag and a knock-on effect. So what happens is, if you look at the property market today, and if you look at the car market today, everyone's looking for a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've also noticed is the prices are not dropping.
Of course.
So these guys, there's a lot of people waiting for a good deal.
Yep.
But there's a lot of sellers not willing to drop their prices, whether it's cars or properties or watches and things like that. Now, who's going to give in first? Generally, it's the buyers. Okay, it's not going to be as good as I thought, and they'll start going up, and the sellers will start going down, and they'll meet in the middle, and that's your 3%. Like, it's just supply and demand. It's maintaining that. But as long as you don't get the panic sellers, you will get a panic seller, somebody who put a cheap car online and try and knock the market, but then it will disappear off the
That's just
ads.
one deal.
It's just one deal.
1 out of 10 you will get
That's
hardly
okay.
one deal, exactly.
And hopefully we'll catch up.
Kind of is linked to the next question, which is, do you think dealers winning right now are the ones lowering prices or the ones holding firm, which very, very much relates to
Holding.
See,
what
again,
we
it's
just
tricky,
talked
I
about.
think.
Holding.
See,
See,
holding.
if he sells right now in panic sell,
Yeah.
he gets lower value to purchase again.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a slightly different way of looking at it, and my answer would be everything is strictly on a case-by-case basis.
Correct. Excellent.
Like, there isn't a blanket policy. There's no such thing as this is the policy and this is what we stick to like robots.
Mhm.
Everything is dynamic. So somebody comes in, gives an offer on the car, right? Does it fit our margin policy? How many days has it been in stock? How many leads have we received on that car? Is it fresh stock? Can we replenish the same car? Do we have multiple listings or multiple viewings for the same car that week? And based on all of these dynamic factors on a case-by-case basis, we
Mhm.
make a decision.
But this is on a everyday business. This
Yeah.
goes on. This is not this time.
It's not this time, yeah.
So this time, if you say panic selling, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Another question. So I really like these questions because they're very linked to what we were talking about, which means people were listening. So I'm glad. Question from Mohamed Abdul Karim. How are you balancing between holding inventory for margin versus a quick turnover for risk in this market? So it's talking about balance between margin and
For
turnover.
me,
How do you
I
do
can talk about myself. I'm not holding onto the actual margin that we keep on all cars because I need speed.
Mhm.
Correct.
So yes, I do, decrease a bit of my margin to have the deal done, but only serious buyers, whoever's sitting across the table, to have the deal done.
So for me, it's totally different because, see, basically here we cannot just say like it's happening in all the cars. Like since I'm just again working on different segment,
Correct.
there is some brands in the market holding it's going to give you like a better margin with the time. So when the supplies becomes lesser, not
No,
because of
okay.
whatever is happening right now, by the way, nothing to do with it. It's happening for the last maybe 2 years.
Mhm.
Whenever you have, let's say, a high demand on such brands, and especially on the Chinese cars, holding it is better than selling it.
Because the
This is
prices
how
of
it
Chinese
goes.
cars are
Exactly.
going up.
Because
right?
exactly the demand even is even much more right now. Let's say comparing it with the last year. Now the people they are know exactly what they want to buy. The price are there, like it's very clear for everyone, for dealers and buyers. I mean end users. So holding it doesn't mean that I'm losing. No, at all. Maybe holding it for now, I'll be selling it
Some
next
cars
month.
are like that.
Exactly. For some cars, I'm not saying for the whole business or for the whole brands.
Absolutely.
Some certain brands, and especially some, let's say, industry like Chinese cars or something. No, it's totally different. You can
Hold your Chinese cars, people.
yeah, honestly, they're doing it right now.
He'll sell it for more.
Thank you very much for that. We're coming close to the end, and we have one final question before we close up with some final comments. Quite straightforward from Abdullah. What type of car to buy, and which one would give the best margin? I guess question is, yeah, what type of car would you suggest buying right now and dealing with that would give the best margin, best profitability without the risk?
So I think that all three of us are going to give completely different answers.
Exactly.
Because
And
you
that's
have
why
such,
we have
you
these
But
three
have
also,
different.
such
you
a
know,
diverse panel
exactly,
here,
yeah.
honestly.
It has. We also have to know how much he's willing to put, how much he wants to make.
Yeah.
It differs a lot.
It's like a general question. You
But
cannot-
if you
cannot
want just
decide.
quick money,
Mm.
Toyota or Jetour.
Honestly, like,
That's one. Toyota or Jetour?
I would say,
What about
like, tried and tested one would be the Jetour T2.
Yes.
I think the days in stock
Yes.
is extremely low, liquidity is extremely high,
I know his answer.
and there are opportunities to get them.
What will be
BYD Leopard.
Leopard? Yeah, leopards.
I see a
Leopards
lot-
and rocks.
I've seen a lot of, yeah, I was going to say a lot of
Really?
rocks
We
in
saw
your
in my
stock.
stock,
Yes,
yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
rocks
I do
in
have a
your
lot.
stock.
Those cars are moving very nice right now, like
So-
on the market.
A lot on then
Imported
Jetours.
specs.
Both,
Okay.
both sides, yeah.
So a lot on
The
T2s.
GCC is called Denzo something
And
like
the
that.
Liberty at Denza.
Yeah.
I thought it's the final
So yeah,
question.
that guy,
but
how much
questions
is he
are
willing to put?
Would the viewer like to actually give a response? We have two more questions. I think after these two, I will stop. This is quite an interesting one. What do you guys think about the possibility that the cars that were supposed to be exported to neighboring countries slides into UAE market due to paralyzed logistics?
I think that,
Quite an interesting question.
and I'd love to hear your opinion on it. The UAE is one of the most fascinating markets in terms of it's a global hub,
That's right.
but it's a global hub for import and export.
And export.
So yes, we agree that the export market will slow down, but we also agree that the import market will slow down.
So
right?
it's balanced.
So the
Exactly,
Japanese
the same
cars will
thing.
stop coming
Yeah,
in, the
all
Korean
the
cars will
imports,
stop coming in.
European imports,
Yeah.
this, that, whatever we see
So
every day.
we'll lose a lot of opportunity as well, which is part of the supply shock that
Of
we're
course.
expecting. Cars
Same,
are
we've
not coming
seen
in.
all of this in COVID.
Yep.
Now,
So
one
yeah,
thing,
it's
if someone,
going to raise the pricing if it goes the same way.
one thing which I'd like to know, if anyone has the answer today or from the viewers, is it a net export market or is it net import? Is there more cars coming in used or is there more cars going out used?
I feel it's equal because
It's
you
equal,
are
yeah?
you are exporting a lot also.
But
Like
we're
in J-
importing a lot also.
We're importing
Japan,
a lot.
Korea, China,
You have from
Europe.
China,
China,
US,
Europe,
and again, but
America.
end of the day,
Yeah,
if you just see
America,
the
Canada,
size,
other specs.
exactly. The size of export market over here is huge. Also, you are exporting like in normal days. I'm not just talking
Yeah.
about now. Maybe everything now is stopped, either import or export. Like what
But
Matt said.
those export cars don't affect the local used car market because they are, if I'm not mistaken, Ducams on VCC, customs have not been paid, so they are for re-export. They're not even for this market.
Yeah, they're
right?
not entering the territory.
They're not entering.
Exactly, but end of the day, you are importing those cars either to be here in the ports or sometimes you are just
Yeah,
putting them in the market.
Makes sense.
So if you just take the transactions, we are not taking the number, the volume
But
of cars.
probably it'll be
entering.
balanced
It will
till
be
it
balanced.
starts again.
Because see, the thing here is that you are not only importing or let's say exporting to one or two countries, you are exporting to Africa, exporting to many different countries, either neighbor countries or faraway countries.
yeah.
So you have big, let's say, number or volume of cars coming and going out as well.
Mm.
Thank you very much. We do have some more questions. Maybe I'll pick one from the final three because we're coming to the end of the session.
What about the data you were sharing, the points? Every second question we had to get one.
I did share all of it. It was what we see. It's exactly what all of you mentioned. Yes, dealers are. You know, if I were to summarize, it's dealers are stocking up. We see more listings.
There is sales also. It's not that we don't have sales.
Sales are there. It has decreased, but
Smart sales.
but
I call it smart sales. Is
absolutely
still happening.
And also because we looked at the first 10 days, which one of the points that were mentioned repeatedly were about sort of the first 10 days of shock.
Correct.
Which could impact. But what we're definitely going to do is share more on a sort of every 2 weeks, bi-weekly basis on insights for our viewers. And the last one was about average price, which what we looked at was an average price of 3 to 4% is, you know, it's not really a big deal.
We see more in summer.
Yeah.
Correct.
Exactly.
Again, that is something that we will monitor as time passes, but at the moment, that is not something alarming, I would say.
Look, we'll watch this show back in a few months, and this will just be another
be
story, and it'll
Exactly.
be really interesting. But my outlook on that number is, it may increase slightly
Mm-hmm.
for the next 1, 2, 3 months until there's an end to the conflict, until there's a bit of uncertainty. But by 3, 4, 5 months post-conflict, that number will go up.
Back to where it was, or you think even higher?
Higher.
Even higher.
Even higher.
Even higher.
Higher.
Even
Just
higher.
like COVID times.
Even
Better than that,
You will
probably.
see. You will see how the prices just bounce back.
That's a good ending comment.
Because people will also know, you know, you always come back. Maybe any city, any place in the world.
Yeah.
People fight back.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely. I think these final questions actually has been kind of answered. Are you currently, I will read it out and kind of comment on it, but if you have any additional comments, please do, just to make sure that the viewers' questions are not being missed. Are you currently buying aggressively, selectively, or holding cash? I think the answer was that you definitely are looking for deals and purchasing and buying, and not sort of panicking and thinking that things are...
If they have any leads, please put it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other question is, the comment on that is what's driving that decision, actually? Maybe that's something.
So, Deal Drive. Let me plug you in first. It's about dynamic pricing. So, like I said earlier on, you know, we have a margin policy, whatever that may be. Let's say it's 10%. As long as the margin policy makes sense, we'll buy it. So
Correct.
something we bought today for 100, we can buy it tomorrow for 90, we can buy it day after for 110. As long as the margin policy works, it works. So
Correct.
as the market volatility continues, we just have to be more dynamic, faster velocity, sacrifice margin for speed. And I think that's the secret success, really.
Absolutely correct. I think that is all the questions for now. We're coming to an end, so apologies for any viewers if you're putting in final questions. Thank you so much,
Thank you. Thank you
Tushar,
for having
us. Having us.
Naz,
Thank you. It was a
for all
pleasure.
the insights. I would just like to end with any final thoughts from each of you, if you'd like to give around. I know, again, some of you touched on it, but what would you like to, what sort of best practice or advice or tip you would like to give to all dealers out there based on your experience in the market and based on what you think is going to happen? You know, how, and if I were to summarize that, what would you do to mitigate risk? You touched upon that. And what opportunities are there? So how should dealers be looking at this going forward?
So, fast moving and dynamic. This is not a business where you can take a week off. I think it's extremely important to be there on a daily basis, monitor prices, monitor transactions, and really just, in a volatile time, volatility makes money, but you have to be on top of the ball.
Just don't hold your stock.
Then don't hold stuff.
Don't
I
hold
would say clean your old stock.
Yeah, just hold.
Sorry?
Clean your old stock.
Clean your old
Be
stock.
ready for the new one. Yeah.
Don't
I mean,
hold on
that
to it.
dealers should always do that. You know, don't hold
No, especially
age
for
stock.
now.
You don't
as
want to be
Nas said,
holding
yeah.
cars with yesterday's pricing.
Exactly.
So
See,
back to
usually we
dynamic
as
pricing.
dealers, all of us will agree on this. We do hold on to some cars we feel we can fetch higher.
Yeah.
But now is not the time.
Emotional attachment, or
No, it's just greed.
I will call it emotional attachment. Perfect. So I think it comes back to then
Yeah, don't hold on
dynamic
to
pricing
anything.
again.
Correct.
Adjusting.
It's honestly dynamic
It's like
pricing.
adjusting to the market on a daily basis.
Correct.
Subscribe to Deal Drive.
We'll help you with the dynamic price. Perfect. Well, again, thank you very much. Thank you for
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you to our viewers as well. All the questions. Again, once the stream ends as well, on the screen there will be a QR code to our LinkedIn page where we will be sharing insights. If we have more events like this, we will be sharing all updates on that through our LinkedIn page mainly. But thank you mostly to our dealers, Tushar, Mohamed, Naz. It was an absolute pleasure, and thank you so much for your insights into the market.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, everyone.